Did you know that if you took all of the iron out of the Eiffel Tower, you would have enough iron to build another Eiffel Tower? So Yama, however you want to say it, stop, Yama time. That's going to be a joke that a lot of people are going to use. Is coming. Here's what it looks like, and I'm going to explain everything you need to know. There's going to be timestamps if you want to flip forward to something. Going to try and blaze through very quickly the basics of what the boss is, and then go into the rewards, and then also we got a big update today as I'm recording this video of what the contract system is going to look like. So that'll be fun. But first off, this is a concept art of what it could look like. This looks pretty cool. It's an end game boss that's in the lava-y place. There's some souls in the lava. Look at that. It's coming. It is coming on the 14th of May 2025. Really exciting. And then here's a little gif of the dude. I don't know if this isn't the same person that we see on the front here. So I don't know. I don't know if it'll be the same. I think this is like a little minion. You know how Necreals have the little minion? But this is cool. He does a little snap his fingers and then he just disappears. But it's a RuneScape, so people don't have fingers. They just have round fists. Okay, so Yama is known as the Master of Pacts. So there was a blog about it. There was all updated blogs and all kinds of stuff like that with rewards and how it works. This is coming to the game. It is an end game duo boss fight. They have quoted it as being slightly more difficult than Desert Treasure 2 bosses, such as Vardorvis. They used that as an example. They said it'll be harder than Vardorvis. Vardorvis is hard for probably 50 kills, and then you get the hang of it, and now it's easy. I know for me, doing 5 perfect kills in a row at Vardorvis is quite simple, and you get just into the habit of dodging everything and whatever else. So if this falls in that sort of area, then that's great. I wonder how it stacks up against the 3 raid boss fights, like Verzik and Ulm and Wardens, stuff like that. I feel like that would be a good way of knowing where it stands. But yeah, it all just comes down to when people figure out the methods and the easiest way of doing it, then everyone's able to do it. So don't be alarmed if you hear that this is going to be super hard. Also, there's a very cool thing coming with Yama where if you want to make money on the day of release, you can do that. There's 2 different ways that you can do that, which is not killing the boss. So, okay, going into it. The biggest thing of Yama is that it drops a new set of end game armor. The one on the right is what they're going with. The one on the left they've scrapped. So the one on the right it looks like the colors of Inquisitor, but it's sort of built differently and looks very nice. And that's called the Oathplate armor. So basically, as we look at the boss, it will have some drops. We'll get into that. So starting off, what is Yama? It is a endgame duo or solo boss that you can do. It will be a step beyond Desert Treasure 2 bosses, and you'll then have the ability to change up the fight by engaging with one of Yama's favorite pastimes, signing contracts. Yama loves a good binding agreement. He's more than willing to lay some extra goodies on the dotted line. It could be a contract mechanic or it could go in a number of directions, but the gist is you'll be able to trade a harder fight for different rewards. Everything's on the table. So they've decided what they're doing with this, and that'll be very shortly. We'll be getting to that point. You know what? Let's do it right now, and then we'll get into the rewards after. So they posted a new blog today, Yama's Contracts, a primer, like a paint primer, when you're about to put paint on the wall. I don't know why they just keep using these crappy screenshots of stuff, but it's blurry on my screen. Contracts, a primer. So there was a lot of speculation about how the contract system will work, so they wanted to clear some things up before release, which is exciting, and I'm glad they're doing this. Contracts are tradable agreements that you can bring to Yama, sign, and he'll show you a little bit more of his power in a more challenging fight with some kind of guaranteed reward up for grabs if you are successful. So when you get a contract, you'll have to weigh whether you think you can do it and beat it in a single attempt or play it safe and sell it to another player. Obviously, people will be selling these contracts like crazy on the first day because no one wants to be the first to try it. But then there's going to be those, Bodies and Wooks and whoever else that are going to be buying them all up. And I wonder how expensive they'll be. It just depends on how long it takes to acquire them. If they're like an elite clue that you can get once per hour, then they'll probably be 5 mil upon release, 5 mil an hour, something in that range. That's usually where endgame bosses fall. They fall in the 5 to 10 mil per hour dollars, and then if it's next where it's awful to do, it's 15 mil. So its base form is the intended experience, sorry, and most players will engage the boss that way for the first time. Contracts are an added layer of spice for players who want to push themselves. The encounter, its rewards and time to complete are built off of the base experience. So they're not having it so there's going to be a contract that says if you complete this contract, you will get a piece of the new armor. That is what they've led us to believe at this point. They haven't explicitly said that unless I've skimmed over that. But that's what they've said. There's going to be some cosmetics and some other things that you can get. So here's an example of what a contract looks like. Contract terms. Some of the restraints on Yama's strength will be removed. It's then going to list some of the restraints. Like it'll say, oh, we're going to remove his Google Flex attack. We're going to increase his Google Flex attack. He's going to be able to hit 99 with his Snorkel Bat attack and whatever else. If you succeed, you will receive, boom. So you have to do these contracts by yourself. Long story short, they didn't know how to make it feel fair and feasible for groups. So they're making it a solo thing. Not sure how I feel about that. I think it's okay, but I do really like doing content with friends. So I guess that just means we're doing the regular version with friends. So the easiest path forward is to avoid having an interaction where both people need to have the contract, or one person has the contract and the other person fails it. Like it's a one-time use. It's an Awakener's Orb kind of thing. You go in, then the orb's gone, and you lose it, and it costs money to get back. With Wednesday's release, you'll be able to obtain contracts and see what the rewards are, but Yama has jumbled his terms illegibly. They'll be revealed when contracts are turned on. So contracts are being turned on Friday, May 23rd, and then you can see the release date. Where was that? Where is that? It was the 14th, isn't it? Oh, okay, I can't find it. Gosh, they had originally said it was the 14th, so they're doing a week and a half before they release all the contracts. People are going to be stacking up contracts and trying to acquire whichever ones they think have the best drops and get a bunch of them and whatever else. So that's going to be a very interesting week and a half of how that all shakes out. So you'll be able to stock up on them to maybe get a world's first. So the core mechanics of the fight will be changed, similar to the late activation of Awakened variants of Desert Treasure 2 bosses. So you'll be able to do that. How do I get them? This is the most important part. There's two ways of getting it. You can get them as a drop by killing Yama, and those contracts will be good ones, like better reward ones and harder ones. Or you can go target farm is what they're calling it. If you want to chill and stack up some contracts, then you can go talk to Yama and ask, is it talk to Yama? I don't know. You talk to someone and ask for a contract of some sort. Okay, let me read this because I knew what it was. Yeah, here it is. Demons have gotten lazy. You could do with being kept on their toes. Chat to Yama and learn a little bit more about exactly how you can help them out. Long story short, killing demons in the Chasm of Fire in a specific way will give you a chance at getting a contract. So, for example, you talk to Yama. He says, go kill 100 black demons with an Emberlight, or kill them with magic, or kill them without using prayer, or something like that. Kill it while bound. There's a reason why everyone's been panic buying the demonic staff. What is that called? The staff thingy. Because they expect, just as they've hinted at here, killing demons with magic is going to be a contract. So yeah, you'll get a contract drop if you're on a contract that Yama gives. It's kind of like the target farm method is what they're calling it. allows you to get contract drops just by killing black demons, lesser demons, greater demons in a specific way. One thing that we can share is that the contracts for the cosmetic upgrade variant of Oathplate armor, the Radiant Oathplate, can be obtained from these demons. We expect this means they'll be in greater supply than the Awakener orbs, and that you trying your hand at these contracts shouldn't break the bank like the chase for Sanguine Torva, and it should be a much chiller way to farm for this for irons instead of spending hundreds of hours taking the bosses. So, yeah, there was a problem with the Awakener orbs on an Iron Man specifically. If you wanted to get full Blood Torva, you needed like hundreds of orbs. Most people take 100 attempts plus, and getting 100 orbs on an Iron Man is like 1,000 hours. Like they're not easy to get. So it was, I mean, maybe that's a bit overkill, 1,000 hours. No, but still, you would finish all of your rings and you still wouldn't have enough orbs to get Blood Torva. And it depends on how good you are at the game. Because some people do take 400 or 500 attempts and there's no shot you're getting that on Iron Man. So you would need a main to practice on. And then if you practice long enough, you think you're good, then you can try it on the Iron Man. That was the kind of way of doing it. So this means, like, as an Iron, you could just go farm these ones from killing lesser demons and greater demons, and then go do the attempts yourself. So it has some similarities to the Awakener's Orb, but in a number of ways. Contracts are target farmable and will likely end up being much cheaper than orbs. So as I said earlier, 5 mil per scroll at the start, if it's one drop per hour. But the fact that they're adding in these other ones shows that, yeah, the price will go down because of that for sure. I wonder where they'll stack up, because Awakener's orbs were a couple of mil to start, and then they're like 700k for a while. So if these are expected to be cheaper, does that mean they're going to be 500k, or does that mean they're going to be 100k? Who knows? So that's what the contract system is. The contract system will give you cosmetic Oathplate armor. Look at that. That's looking mighty snazzy. They've intentionally built a little design in here that falls below the Rancor amulet. So if you're looking to prep for having the nicest looking gear, go and get yourself the Rancor ornament kit, which is the Araxor pet is needed for that. So that's kind of nice. But this is what the regular version looks like. Obviously, I was not happy that they were adding the Rancor with green in it, considering nothing matches that, and I'm a man that likes matching. I look forward to our boots being changed, because like it's like jarring. It looks so different. And then our gloves look nothing like it. So anyways, that's just me, being picky, but I do like the look of this armor, and I wonder if it's going to look even remotely as shiny in game. Probably not. It looks like HD, like this render looks HD. It doesn't look like old school to me. So, so that's Yama's contracts, how they're going to work. So if we go back to what Yama is, we're going to talk about the rewards. So we know it's an endgame boss. We know when it's coming out. We know that it has a contract system that you can do, just like the Desert Treasure 2 bosses. Like, you can try to do the hard version, but like, do you really want to? So if we keep going down here, what are the rewards? They start with some weird rewards. The Death Charge spell on the Arceus spellbook is getting an upgrade. You'll get a drop that's like a page that you read, kind of like a dex scroll, and it will make it so that your spec will buff twice per minute instead of once. So every time you cast the Death Charge, it'll allow you to gain special attack energy from 2 enemies per cast rather than just 1. This is very, very good in a lot of places. Like a lot of places. It makes Arceus spellbook even better, and I cannot wait for them to finally and eventually release a raid that is Fremennik themed, where they add a bunch of buffs to the Lunar spellbook, get everything back on the same page. Like with Desert Treasure 2, they added the scepters that make Ancients better, and they added Virtus, which makes Ancients better. And then now they're handling Arceus with Death Charge and stuff like that. A Kingdom Reunited will be a quest coming, and I bet you they're going to make it so Thralls are better. So I look forward to when Lunars you can do Venge every 15 seconds. Like, that's literally what this is, just doing it twice per minute instead of once. So Venge every 15 seconds, pot share will be easier, like everything will just be easier. Like swapping your spell book might be a 1 tick instead of a 4. Looking forward to that. So Surge Potion. So sucking down this potion will give you 25% of your special attack energy. You can only do this every 5 minutes. And I'm trying to find where it says that. It's just something I know. Once every 5 minutes. There it is. I was right before it. I was looking after. So this will be handy in enraged phases, for example. I'm picturing if you're in TOA and you don't have a surge potion, whatever it is, power surge, special surge, I can't remember what it's called, the blue one. When you get to the final phase, you could slap on your ZCB, do a spec, hit a 110, and then sip another potion and do a BGS, or vice versa, which is pretty handy, to be honest. Other places, like when you're doing your Grandmaster speedrun times, you'll get a whole other spec, or part of a spec. So it's interesting. I look forward to finding out what the meta is, but once every 5 minutes is their way of saying, we realize this is extremely overpowered and we don't know what to do to prevent that other than make it so you can only sip every 5 minutes. So I don't know. It's in an interesting spot. It's not as powerful as a light bearer was pre DT2 rings. So maybe this is, balanced, but yeah, you're just gonna bring these potions everywhere that you do PVM. So the goading potions and things like that are 100k a pot. I wonder if this will be something in that range too. So you'll need 81 Herblore and a Demonic Tallow and a Torstal to make the potion for yourself, and you'll need to put your own blood to make the magic happen, meaning it is untradeable. So yeah, scratch that part about how much it'll cost. They will just be untradeable. Now this part is tradable, isn't it? So that's where the thing comes in handy. You need 81 Herblore to be able to use the potion. Cosmic Catalyst. So this is a combination of Cosmic Runes and Soul Runes into Aether Runes. Aether? I'm going with Aether. So you save 1 inventory spot. Cool, moving on. Diabolical Worms. This is a way, it'll drop these worms, and then it allows you to catch anglerfish faster. This is an Iron Man update, obviously, helping Iron Man get more anglerfish into their gullet. I think this is very stupid and dumb, and they should just wait for sailing release to add new ways of catching fish, such as anglers. But whatever. Equipment. This is the fun stuff. So we talked about the Oath Plate armor. We showed what it looked like. What is it, though? It is a full set of armor. It is a side grade to Torva. The full set has 38 slash accuracy over Torva. 38 slash accuracy. That is a lot of slash accuracy. But you lose 6 melee strength bonus. So max hit goes down, slash accuracy goes up. Obviously, this is pointless if you're using an Elder Maul, if you're using a Rapier, or you're using a Dragon Hunter Lance, or anything like that. But it is very, very good for a Scythe. Scythe is good on low defense monsters. It is not as good on high defense monsters. So this will bridge that gap and make it so you can use a Scythe at high defense monsters. If something has really low defense, like 1 or nothing, then Torva's better, because the extra strength bonus will help. It's a bit weaker in defense to stab, crush, and range, but it has better magic defense bonus, and is much tougher against slash damage. So for sure, you would imagine that Yama is going to be weak to slash, so that this armor is good at the place you get it from. It's a 78 defense requirement. Nothing else really crazy to talk about here. We're going to figure out where it is best in slot. One problem that people have seen with this armor, there's no set effect. And that means there's a lot of scenarios where wearing a Torva helmet is better than the Soul helmet. So there's a real chance that the Soul helmet is going to be very, very cheap, and the other two are going to be very expensive. So we'll see how that shakes out. But when you're talking about what it looks like, yeah, you're going to want the full set for the swag bonus. There's the stats, yada, yada, yada. It's going to have a cosmetic variant. Can't wait to hear what you think of the slash focus that makes your scythe swing shine. The Soul Flame Horn, this is the most interesting thing of the blog, of the rewards, and it's going to change a lot of things, but it's also very simple. So it is a equipable horn with like no stats, but when you spec with it, your closest allies within 2 tiles have their accuracy of their next melee hit splat for 6 seconds will be increased by 100%. So if someone is within 2 tiles, like if someone's standing on top of you or right beside you, and you spec with the horn, it will increase their accuracy to be guaranteed. So that's pretty cool. You're never gonna miss an Elder Maul hammer, Warhammer, a Dragon Warhammer. It doesn't work for anything else. No ZCB farming. Doesn't work with Mage. So it's really what it is. Now there's going to be times where someone in a team of 5. So okay, we'll get to that. It costs 25% per player affected. So yeah, in a team of 5, you'll be able to use the horn and it'll give it to the other 4 players, and they will all now have like full accuracy on their next spec. So there could be a scenario where, like, you know, at the end of Verzik, when you're about to go into the tornadoes or the final 30%, someone horn specs and then everyone dumps a claw spec and it's a guaranteed accuracy roll. So something like that. I don't know. This also to me means Chalies are going to be really good. So I don't know how that works. The accuracy of their next melee hit splat. What if it's 2 hit splats like a Chali? Because the Chali can hit like 130 damage or something like that. Kind of interesting because it's very inaccurate but hits high. So we'll see. We will see what happens. So the Soul Flame Horn's Rousing Bellow will provide an additional 100% accuracy to allies within 2 tiles of you, guaranteeing that their next melee hit, meaning first hit splat, okay, so not both, within 6 seconds is successful against NPCs. It costs 25% per player affected. You're limited to 4 allies, but it will also grant you the same buff that it affects an ally. So this accuracy enhancing effect also applies to specs. Should be easy to understand the potential of the Soul Flame Horn into defense reduction special attacks. Sotoseg won't know what hit him. Yeah, you're just not going to miss specs at Sot. So if you're in a 5-man TOB, one person's going to have the horn, the other 4 are going to have Elder Maul, BGS, Claws, whatever else. Something we've never tried before, so let us know what you think. Yeah, I think it's cool, personally. I think I'm excited to see how this all shakes out. Corporal Beast hitting specs is going to be really nice. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of places where the kills per hour goes up because we're no longer relying on special attacks. I mean, if you've ever done solo chambers and you've hit zeros with your Warhammer repeatedly on the melee hand, you'll understand that this is going to be really nice because you can spec yourself, if I'm not mistaken. So kind of cool. So there's some other things in the Chasm of Fire that we need to talk about. So there will be a new mining content that is kind of interesting. In exchange for a bit of physical labor, you'll earn a new ore, which can be combined with armor shards dropped by Yama to forge a chunk of Oathplate armor for yourself. Armor shards are a common drop, so you can choose to save them up for a piece that you're missing, or you can sell them for a tidy profit if you've been lucky enough to get the whole set as a drop already. So you will be able to get from Yama the helmet, the plate body, or the plate legs. You will also be receiving armor shards. Let's say it takes 1,000 armor shards. You then combine that with an ore that you can mine in the area, and you will now have enough to build a piece of armor, which you can just pick which one you want to build. Pretty interesting mechanic. This is bad luck protection. They project that you will get on drop rate all 3 pieces of armor before you have enough armor shards to build your own piece. But if you are an Iron Man that is missing the helmet and you've got 7 plate bodies and 4 plate legs, for sure you're going to have enough shards to build the helmet to get through that. The one thing with necks, this is equating this to necks or equating this to Masori or Ancestral, like you could just keep rolling the hat over and over again and never get the body or the legs, and it gets annoying. If you could have necks, like if it just drops the Torva pieces in order, it always does body, then legs, then helm, that would be sweet. But that's like, you can't do that. Hindsight, you can't change it now. So that's why I think whenever they add new content, they have to find a way of having bad luck protection. That is, it hurts the game when someone goes turbo dry on something. Like, I'm talking over 4x. it just makes them quit or be upset at the game, and it also demotivates people from even trying the content when they see that they could just get really unlucky. Like imagine going for an Ellie sigil on any account, and you want that on your collection log. It's a 4,000 drop rate, and it takes forever to kill that boss. And if you go 3x drop rate, you're looking at years to get it. So yeah, it's good to kind of help out in some different ways. So this is a unique way of doing it. You get shards alongside the chance of getting the oath plate armor pieces. So you could just get the 3 pieces and be happy and be done, or you can stack up enough shards. You could sell the shards, or you could buy the shards. So upon release, a lot of people are going to be buying the shards on the GE to build their own piece of oath plate to then sell and profit. So that's something to consider. The shards will probably be quite expensive on release. Yeah, so if loads of people are doing the mining activity for the ore, then the ore will go down in price and more of the value will sit with the armor shards from Yama. So it's going to balance out everything. Like it's a little ecosystem that they're building in the area, which is, it's cool to see. I kind of like it. But yeah, it gives you an option for getting the armor in a different way if you're an Iron Man. So if people don't want to do the mining activity, then the armor shards will lose value and the ore will go up, driving the GP of ore for the mining activity up. So they haven't said what level you need. It might be said somewhere, but I'm not sure. So that covers it. Those are the rewards. That's a little extra thing that they've got. We talked about the contracts. When I look at this, here are my predictions. Obviously, you've got a room. Here's the room. You're going to be kind of like locked into here. These are going to be lighting up for sure, as you can see. There's going to be different mechanics, like stand on these to be safe, and then it's going to be shooting stuff at you. I wonder if it's going to have a mechanic. You know those like little handheld like toys that were like memory trainers? I wonder if it's going to show like a pattern. Oh, just like Akka. That would be the worst. I don't want that. My ADHD can't handle remembering more than one thing at a time. But yeah, you're probably going to be just like Royal Titans, standing on these different things. Maybe you have to stand on them to do damage. Maybe you have to stand on them to prevent damage. That would make sense. Otherwise, there's not a whole lot of room in this area to get away or to hide or anything like that. Part of me thinks there's going to be like demonic spawns, like the Necreals, they spawn their little buddies. I wonder if those will be spawning. Like you can see, this is what Yama looks like big, like huge, looks 3x3 for sure. You can actually see tiles on the ground. It looks like 5x5 if you count those. And then this shows a little guy on here. So I wonder if this is like a second person that spawns. Maybe this is Yama, and then this is just like his demon spawn that I don't know. This might already be known that I just I didn't read or anything. So yeah, I imagine you'll be running around, and those will play the majority of the mechanics into it. Seeing as they recently had Huey Codal, you have to coordinate your prayers. I think that might factor in as well. So just like Huey, you could solo Huey, but you lose out on the bonus damage from coordinating your overhead prayers. I could see them doing that with this as well, where one of you needs to be on one style, the other needs to be on the other style, and then it'll probably change midway through because there's 2 and there's 3 styles, something like that. I wonder if they'll bring back the smite mechanic that we had from the Grumbler. What's that guy's name? The slug guy, the Muspa. That could be a thing. In terms of what will be good here, obviously it's a demon. Everyone's panic buying Demon Bane weapons and items and stuff like that. I would guess that a Scythe and a Shadow and a T-Bow would probably out DPS the Demon Bane items, but there will definitely, like, lock it in. There's going to be contracts that say kill them with Demon Bane only. So this is going to be one of those things where any old gear that's not been used in a while, they're going to give it a use through contracts, is my guess. And any of the like good expensive gear, like the T-Bow and the Scythe and whatever, those will maintain their value because they're still going to be really good. So that's what I would guess for how it works. So I don't know. Boss will spawn some little minions. You have to like blood barrage them or something like that. AoE them, kill all of them at once with a with the demonic staff, and then maybe you want to freeze the lad. He chases you around, and you just freeze him using a burning bow, a scorching bow. I don't know, just combining all the mechanics of stuff we already know. I hope there's new mechanics that we've never seen before, but there's only so much that the this system can handle. There's just like different types of mechanics. So yeah, we'll see what it is. I really look forward to it. If you have enjoyed the video and you made it all half hour of this podcast style ramble guy thing, then I encourage you to drop a comment below. Definitely like the video, and send it to your friend that you want to duo with, because they need to know this stuff for release. Because if they don't know this and you go in and the guy's like, I don't understand how this works, you'll be like, bro, why didn't you watch Flample's video? He said I explained everything. So, I mean, you can do that, or you can't. I can't rule your life, but realistically, at the end of the day, it is night, and if you really consider that... So the last thing I want